Welcome again to Joe Son of Boxing. George Liddard, a quick turnaround for him because only a few weeks ago, it seems like about a month ago, he was, he was knocking out, what's the guy, Olunga? Was that his name? Omar Olunga or something like that? A hapless opponent. And Liddard put him over 3 times in the first round and stopped him. Really just terrible opponent. Not this time, though. A month or so later, he's fighting Derrick Osaze, and this was a good little scrap over 10 rounds for something called the Silver Commonwealth title. I don't know what that is. Who cares about silver titles? The fact is, it was fought between two very good, currently domestic level fighters. I mean, George Liddard he's got his eyes on bigger things. He's only 22. He's from Billericay, big lad, big, broad-shouldered, very strong. Looks strong beyond his years, if you know what I mean. He looks to have got he's going to get his man strength earlier. He'll probably get even stronger and move up in weight maybe later on. But yeah, he's got some power to him, and he hits hard, and he's got sharp punches as well. Very conventional style, nothing wrong with that. It's all very textbook, but it's a nice variety of punches from George. I like watching him. I think he's a good fighter. Definitely a prospect to keep an eye on. And at 22, he was 9 years younger than Derrick Osaze. Now, Osaze was last seen getting knocked flat by Denzel Bentley, and that was in the second round of one of those WBO international titles. These are middleweights, by the way, I should have mentioned that. And Osaze didn't really do himself justice there. He's a tough guy. I wouldn't say he was anything more than British level, which is no shame in that. But if you're going to beat him, you have to knock him flat, or you have to just really leave everything in the ring. He's one of those tough guys. Prior to being knocked out by Bentley, he lost to Tyler Denny, who went on to win the EBU title. That was in 2021. He lost on points over 10. But he is a guy who's going to give you work, and sure enough, he made George Liddard work for every round. And I had this 97-93. Which sounds like it was kind of one-sided, but these were competitive rounds, very competitive rounds. And this was one of those fights where you thought, one guy's winning most of the rounds, but I've having to work. It doesn't really tell the whole story of the fight. Because like I say, Liddard had the sharper punches, technically very good, nice balance, good jab, which he didn't use enough after the first couple of rounds. He sort of forgot about the jab, which was a bit strange. Osaze sort of alternates between high guard, and then he'll sort of, for some reason, I think it's almost like he doesn't realise what he's doing. He thinks, okay, I'm going to look for an opportunity here. So he brings his hands down. It's almost as if he's like peering over the parapet. What's going on over there? But when he keeps his hands up, he's a hard man to hit cleanly, and he was landing punches on George. But I have to say that when George hit Derrick, the effects were sort of more noticeable than when Derrick Osaze was hitting George Liddard. That was a bit. I don't think at any point did George Liddard look perturbed by the power. He was made to work, but he wasn't ever really buzzed. Whereas, to be honest, neither was Derrick really. But Derrick, I don't know. He takes what he's got and he maximises it. Whereas with George, you get the feeling that there's much more to come. Do you know what I mean? At 22, even though he looks like he's maturing, physically maturing quicker, there is no substitute for life experience, or in this case, ring experience. And I think I'm right in saying that this is the first time he's been 10. Prior to this, he'd only been 6 a few times. So that's a little box ticked. And he did the 10 very well against a good opponent. Osaze is definitely, I'll say, English level, definitely. And yeah, it was. I mean, the Osaze hasn't been. I don't think he's been 10 before. Oh, yeah, he has been 10 before once, I think, because he lost to Tyler Denny. That was a 10-rounder. But prior to that, he hasn't done that many rounds. But so it was kind of 6 of one, half dozen of the other in terms of experience. I mean, Osaze's now 13 wins with only 3 KOs, 3 defeats. no draws. And Liddard is, what was he now, 11-0. So in terms of, despite the big disparity in chronological age of 9 years, you could argue that actual ring experience, there isn't a great deal of difference. So I suppose, in a sense, yeah, this was always going to be quite a close fight. But definitely there's room, you can see that Liddard is going to get better, that he's going to do, he's going to, if he keeps working hard and lives the life, he will get better and better, because he's kind of near enough at the start of his journey. Whereas Osaze may have a few years left. 31's not ancient, but I can't really see him getting much better. But he's a handful. He's gonna get work, because he always comes to fight. And he said beforehand, they're using me as a stepping stone. No one uses me as a stepping stone. And Liddard will be a better fighter for these 10 rounds, definitely. You could argue that they probably both will. But in Liddard's case, he'll probably, when he's further down the line, when he's 27, 28, 29, he'll look back on this fight and think, hey, I learned a lot there. That was good. That was a good experience. And afterwards, he was very sort of, chipper and chirpy, and he's Essex lad, donned the West Ham colours, a lot of support in the crowd, sells tickets. So he'll probably do something with his career, definitely, I think, definitely. So what did you think of him? What do you think of it? I think he's heavy-handed. I mean, what has he got now? He's got six KOs out of the 11 wins. So, but at 22 years of age, when you're learning, the KO is it's further down the menu. It's down the list. We don't need to worry about the KOs. We want rounds. And he probably hits harder, I think, than that. What is that? 6 out of 11 is probably about 47%. No, wouldn't it be about a 53% KO, 54% KO ratio? So it's not bad. But I think he hits harder than that suggests. But what do you think of him? How far do you think he can go? And what do you think he should happen next? I'm someone who always advocates the old way: area, English, British, Commonwealth, European, and then world. It's been tried and tested for decades, and it works. That's why Frank Warren does it with a lot of his fighters. But Liddard, as a matchroom fighter, what will he do? Go for the British? Yeah, maybe the English is still there. Or will he leapfrog and go for the European, perhaps? I don't know. Let me know what you think about him and what you'd like to see him do. And thanks for watching the video. If you like the video, hit the like button. Please subscribe to the channel, because you're doing us a big favour. You're building the channel up. All right, ladies and gentlemen, not a bad Friday night's boxing. Good next-gen show. Always interesting to see the kids on the up. So let me know what you think. And as usual, thanks for your time. Enjoy your weekend. Bye for now.